When a loved one passes away, the family suddenly faces stress and emotions that can really take their toll in the best of situations. As the inevitable moment comes when it's time to settle the estate among heirs, one possession typically holds the most value and causes the most division, and that would be property. I'm Vicki Hudson, and welcome to TexasLegalDocs.com. Clearly no one wants to know that after they're gone, their possessions could become a point of contention among family members, or even worse, end up in unwanted or unintended hands. Without proper protection, a family can become embroiled in conflicting claims, or even surprised by long-lost or unknown relatives who suddenly surface and complicate the issues. The simplest and best way to keep these conflicts from arising is for a property owner to execute an accurately drafted will that clearly expresses their intentions. Up until death, a last will and testament is completely unenforceable and can be changed, altered, modified, or even destroyed at the whim of the author. But immediately upon death, the document becomes official. A properly drafted will, filed with a probate court, allows all of the assets, including property, to be divided according to the deceased's final wishes, to the exclusion of anyone else. But many people have concerns about the perceived cost of drafting a will, the expense of probating the will after death, or get overwhelmed at the thought of setting up a complex trust arrangement.
Well, in Texas, unless a consumer is in a high tax bracket where they may need a trust as a tax planning measure, for most Texans, a trust is not necessary. In fact, a will can pass title to property at a low cost for most Texans, and in Texas, the probate procedure is very inexpensive.
However, and this is big, if there is no will to probate, the state of Texas decides who takes ownership of the property through a non-flexible set of rules and formulas. These statutory rules do not take into consideration any promises, any desires, or any personal wishes made or expressed before death. Rather, the heirs are determined by applying a flowchart formula to the decedent's family history.
It depends on the person's family status. Were they married or single? Do they have children from the current relationship or even other relationships? Was the property community property or personal property? Do they have any siblings or parents still alive? All of those things factor into a formula to decide who's going to inherit the property of the person who dies.
A relatively inexpensive last will and testament that can be presented for probate after death is the simplest way to ensure that your wishes are followed and that your greatest possession ends up under the stewardship you desire. For TexasLegalDocs.com, I'm Vicki Hudson, and we'll see you next time.